From making his debut in Thor: Love and Thunder to a potential comeback in the MCU as the King of Gods, Russell Crowe might just be back as Zeus in the next Thor production. The man has been talking about a future comeback to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and why shouldn't he? The Oscar-winning actor played Zeus in the MCU film featuring Thor. The character left quite a few things unsolved as Zeus dispatched his son Hercules to murder the god of thunder. So as you can see, there are quite a few things that need to be straightened out. When questioned about a potential sequel while appearing on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, Crowe responded that so far nobody's brought anything up with him. But it seems like that's the notion at the end of the previous one, right? But like the rest of us, he's not entirely sure right now. Still, by the looks of it, Russell won't mind featuring in a follow-up. In reference to the film's director, he remarked that if you're a young actor and you get the opportunity to be on set with Taika Waititi, you take it. According to the 59-year-old, the man is a creative genius, but it's not just that. He's also just a beautiful guy, and it's a lot of fun. Well, there you have it, folks. Does Taika need any more validation than that? The Zeus actor also had some things to say about the lead. Crowe also commended his co-star Chris Hemsworth. The 59-year-old gushed over his fellow actor, saying that he didn't exactly know him well previously, but he was really pleasantly surprised at what a good actor Chris is. According to Russell, Hemsworth was a really warm, welcoming fella, in addition to having great comedy chops. If you didn't already know that Chris is a funny and talented guy, have you been living under a rock? Now, the actual challenge in the circumstance in which these people managed to make their skills known, Russell Crowe shared that what we got to see are those elaborate and extravagant scenes with the most mesmerizing backgrounds. But in reality, it's just Chris and him and a few cardboard boxes covered in blue stuff. They had to act, and acting well in those circumstances is the real deal. Aren't you guys impressed? I sure am. While the next Thor production is still far into the future, Russell has been going through a few things in the present. There's been talk of him being in Gladiator 2. A Gladiator sequel is now being developed by Paul Mescal and Denzel Washington. According to a recent announcement, though, Crowe may not be a part of the movie. Regarding this whole debacle, the actor recently admitted to Collider that he is jealous of the cast for the next film. The man laid it out straight and shared that the only true emotion he has about the production is a tiny bit of jealousy. Since he was a young guy, the film has had a significant impact on his life. According to him, it's something that altered his existence. It changed how people perceived him and the work he did for his career. The man has been fortunate enough to work on many successful films, but that one had amazing power. The actor shared that now we are in the year 2023, and that movie was created in 1999, and without a doubt, he can assure everyone that Gladiator will be on primetime television tonight somewhere in the world. It clearly holds a particular place in his heart, because you don't always achieve that type of longevity with every film you make, so it makes sense that the actor is so proud of that particular production. But does Russell's inclusion in the next Thor film also mean Brett Goldstein will be there too? While presenting The Pope's Exorcist, Oscar-winning actor Russell Crowe has been answering inquiries regarding some of his most well-known roles. In Thor: Love and Thunder, where he made his MCU debut as Zeus, he indicated that he wanted his son, Hercules, played by Brett Goldstein, to remind people of their strength, so it appears that the gods will have more stories to tell in the future. But honestly, I'm not really complaining about that. On the Happy Sad Confused podcast, though, Crowe recently stated that he has not received any news regarding his character's return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but his previous debut was kept under pretty tight wraps as well, so I wouldn't exactly be surprised if he made a surprise appearance once more. Still, the question is, will a Zeus and Hercules feature be the best thing for Thor? The previous movie was set in the immediate aftermath of Avengers Endgame, followed Thor, Valkyrie, and ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, along with a slew of other heroes, as they struggle to battle Gore the God Butcher. His only purpose was to make the gods extinct, and one of those gods turned out to be Russell Crowe's portrayal of Zeus. While that sounds exciting in theory, the feature has left quite a few fans divided, and as always, they were ready to share their initial thoughts on the MCU's depiction of the most powerful deity from Greek mythology on Twitter. While some fans are eager to see what Crowe does with the role, others voiced their disappointment. Two images of Sergei Lady Constance as Zeus in Zack Snyder's Justice League. A snapshot of Russell Crowe as Zeus from the Thor teaser was shared on Twitter by a person going by the handle Geralt of Snyderverse. Constance, a bodybuilder who is over 30 years younger than Crowe, may be seen using lightning during a combat scenario in the first picture. While Crowe is seen conversing with Thor, the user only had one comment: "They really turned MCU Zeus into a joke." The tweet highlighted how Crowe appears to be much less chiseled than Constance, and many of the others flocked ahead to agree. According to fans, Zeus is supposed to look intimidating. Stephanie McDermott remarked that Zeus always appears to be ripped and in shape in the photographs I've seen of him, something the MCU Zeus clearly lacked. Still, several people expressed excitement for Crowe's portrayal of Zeus too. They claimed that the MCU's portrayal seemed accurate. According to Greek mythology, Zeus was not a stern, obedient warrior deity. He was a reckless, ill-mannered womanizer who enjoyed partying and sleeping around. Jolly J replied to Geralt of Snyderverse's tweet that if anything, the MCU looks more authentic. According to a fan, if you were genuinely knowledgeable about Greek mythology, you'd know that Zeus is frequently a villain or a f***up rather than this badass muscular hero. Greek gods are often temperamental assholes who enjoy intentionally causing trouble, not bulky traditional heroes. Another fan wrote on Twitter that Russell Crowe is the perfect casting choice for Zeus. So while the man may have faced some backlash, his fans knew how to hold their own and never allow him to be disrespected. After all, what are fans for? But will the next Thor film be the last? Russell Crowe may or may not feature in the next movie, but it might just be the last one too. At least Chris Hemsworth sure seems to think so. But that's not all. He thinks that Thor will perish in his next movie. What? It appears as though the actor is willing to give up Stormbreaker after 11 years of portraying the dashing god of thunder. Hemsworth said in an interview with Vanity Fair that he doesn't know whether Thor will return or not, but he added that he believes there'd be more to say if the fans wanted to hear him say it, and if there's something special, novel, or something surprising to do with the character or the setting, he's all ears and welcome to don the cape once more. He's always enjoyed the character and will always be grateful to try something new. But that was still his take on the next movie. The director of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, is largely responsible for that shredding of the rules. Waititi changed the space Viking from riveting superhero to a god with a sense of humor, it seems. The Furiosa actor urged a fitting end to Thor's narrative journey, one that was comparable to Iron Man's and Captain America's. And that's a pretty fair ask. He believes that the end needs to justify the journey, and he has a feeling that it would be the end, but he hasn't received any word on the matter yet, so we don't have to worry just yet. That's a wrap on Russell Crowe's possible return to the MCU.